Morning, everybody. So we're back the next morning trying to finish up this pressure washer system in the RV. We've been 2 days. Last night I left with trying to plumb the back, which I mean we did plumb quite a bit of it, and then we were looking for pump placement. That's where I realized where I thought I wanted to pump, it's not where I want to put it now. At first, we were going to put it behind the tanks, so it was closer to the pressure washer to feed, but then we were going to have to build an apparatus and have the pump outside of the RV, which I thought in the long run, with getting corroded or damaged or, access to it would just be more of a pain than if we were to route it inside of the box. So I'm going to have to cut some of the plumbing out that I did to rerun it. It was not a big deal. But again, that's a great way of showing people that even though you have a plan in your head, once you get underneath and start putting it all together, sometimes changes are a good thing. So I had to run into town, pick up some new fittings and the last few couplings for hooking up the pump. So hopefully today we will be done with the pressure washer system. My goal is to have it actually running and show it completed. So I'm pretty excited about that. One more job off our list. If you look here, you will see the pieces that we have for the brackets to hold the tank down are all painted, ready to go back in. The shop is an absolute disaster. Jeff's still washing the same spot. I guess somebody should tell him that he can move on now. But anyhow, we're gonna get underneath the truck. I'll go underneath. I'm gonna show you before I cut it out what I actually did with the plumbing and how we're gonna reroute it and where we're gonna put it now. Okay, so now we're underneath the RV and there's a little bit tight quarters. So yesterday I did do the line that ran across and feeds the two tanks. That's gonna stay. That's good where it is to be able to keep both tanks level at the same height, as well as I did get the vent in on this side, which is all done really well all the way up to the top. You can't really show it on that side, but can vent extremely well on that side, as well as we started to put on our fill-up drains, but I didn't like this line and I don't like how stiff it was to be able to connect to the two. So when I went in yesterday to get the fittings, I got the new hosing and new fitting. I think is going to work a lot better for filling up the two tanks. Now on this line, this is a feed line to the pump, and what we were going to do was I was going to have the pressure washer is going to be mounted to the back side of this frame rail coming down, so the back of the pump system would be facing you here, and our lines would be coming off towards this line. I kept it on the far side so I could come off 90 into the pump and then have the pump run with my valves literally right here to turn on and off if I wanted water from the main two tanks at the back of the front of the RV, or back to turn on if we were to empty these and we needed more water, we could turn a valve. So we were going to put the valves here, but what that does is we have to literally slide our hands, if I can show you here, in the back of the truck to access and turn these valves, which kind of would be a little bit awkward. And then we would have to make an apparatus to weld more framing on the back here to have the pump back here sitting on a platform. And then the more I looked at it, because we couldn't put it upwards, the way the mounting is, it has to sit flat. I was beating my head going, okay, I don't like how that's looking. And then all the debris in the road, and if we're going down to California in the winter time in January, you're gonna have slush and snow. It's all sitting up on the pump because all the tires are gonna be kicking it all back here. I thought, you know what, why not see if we could mount it to this wall, where that's the outside of the box on the outside of the RV. And I thought, well, how about we try to put the pump inside the box? So now I'm going to cut this line off, rerun it so my T goes straight through and it'll run into the box. Then it will go to the pump, as well as I can have my valves inside where my return will come back out off the top, running back around into the back of the pressure wash system. Then I don't have to worry about anything. My on and off switch for my pump can be in there, my valves can be in there, so it's just a matter of opening up the side compartment door and accessing those valves. Just made a lot more sense, a lot nicer for mounting. The pump's not going to get damaged. I was trying to keep, the reason why I wasn't doing that the first time was I didn't want to lose space in my storage compartments. I really hate the fact that I'm losing space for, anything we're bringing along, whether it's chairs or bikes or anything that we're putting underneath. We are losing space for it. But if you look at the bad to take the good, I'd rather protect the pump and have it access everything inside, so we're not having to come underneath the rig to turn on or pull anything or turn valves or anything on that sort. So again, I think this is the best way to do it. It sucks that this is all done, and the one problem about using PEX, once you use it, it's garbage. We have to cut this off now and run two new. But I may be able to just cut them off here and run a line right together and not have to pull any of my drains. That's what I'm going to try for. So I'll get on the outside, I'll show you where the pump's going and show you all the fittings. So now what we've done is we were able, which was a quick fix, cut our pipes just a little bit shorter, just past the fitting, put in our 90, put in our T on the other side, cut it back, recrimp them together, didn't have to pull any fittings. So again, a very easy fix for us to be able to go forward now with running our line from here into the box. So that's what we'll be doing now, running all of our lines and figuring out how it is. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to mount this pressure washer. Might as well mount the pressure washer so we know exactly where we're running all these lines to. So I think that's going to be our next step. Okay, so just an update to show where we're at. I'm going to see my oldest boy that's slacking, trying to drill some holes in the frame. Probably the worst job of this whole thing. Is trying to drill these stupid holes through this thick frame to mount the pressure washer. He's already got 3. This is his last hole, and then we're pretty much going to be smooth sailing from there. So now that he's got that done, we're going to be hooking up our lines that's going to run up to the front of the truck to the other 2 holding tanks. But while he was doing that, I've plumbed in the main line here. If you can see here, coming in from the 2 tanks that are at the back. They run around, go into the pump, run through the pump, then across, which you have valves on each side, which is really important. If we ever need to service the pump, we can literally shut that one off, and service the pump without draining all the tanks. The other thing as well, if we have one line running through, kind of hard to see in this light, one running through that's going to run to the pressure washer, and then one running out from here going down, which runs from the 2 front tanks, or when you're onshore power or with water. So once you hook up the truck completely, all you have to do is open this valve, shut this valve to the pump, and automatically it will run direct right to the pressure washer, so we won't need to run any tanks. Or if our back tanks were to empty, we could shut off this valve, open this valve, turn on the pumps on the main truck, and it will run from the 2 water tanks that are on the front of the truck. So this is all done now. We'll end up putting a box over top of this so it doesn't get hit. This is in the side compartment, and this is where our reels will be as well, or one side reel. But we'll put a cover on that so nothing can smash the pump or damage the pump. And our on and off switch for the pump will be in this side as well. So okay, so I guess a little bad news. I am not going to have this done tonight. I was really hoping we were going to. My one son had to go back to Montreal to his job, and my other son isn't here available right now, and I kind of need two hands at this point. So we did get a lot done, which I'm going to show you here. We got basically every bit of the plumbing done to the pressure washer. So if you look here, I'll show you underneath the rig where we started, and we'll sort of work ourselves around and show you where everything ran to. So I apologize for the lighting, it's not the best, but I'm going to show you under our first compartment on the passenger side of the truck is where our one holding and our other holding tank is on the other side. They come in T together, and it goes to a valve so we can turn on or off our holding tanks here if we're running on shore power, or sorry, water. You turn this on, it goes to our main pump, and it goes across into our hot water tank, and then it splits off. And here we have where it jumps up and goes back for cold water. We were able to tie into the main, and it runs back now to the back side or the front side of the other pump. So if we are hooked up to main water, we just turn on the one valve here, turn off this valve, and we now have direct water right from shore. So that's a nice thing. Another thing I want to kind of show people here is this hot water on demand system. A lot of people ask me about this. I have no idea why every single RV or camper out there has this. I don't even know why they're putting in tanks anymore. It's like so old school, and they're just junk. And when I was researching to try to put what I was going to put in here for hot water for my shower, I was like, I really don't want these stupid little tanks that you turn on the water, rinse, turn it off, lather, turn it back on, so you're not running out of water, and you're lucky to get one shower of it before you run out. So I went online, and we're looking at these replacement hot water on demand systems, and the reviews were pretty good, but there wasn't a lot of people really talking about them. So it was at the shop or at an RV store, they were around $1,600, but on Amazon they had them for like $600 and $700 Canadian. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy it. It was basically the same price as replacing to one of the small tank ones. I'm going to tell you right now, it is absolutely the best thing you could possibly do would be to put that in your RV. Turn it on, you have your controls inside, which tells you what temperature the water's coming out at. You can have back-to-back showers. We could have 4 or 5 people have showers back-to-back, never run out of hot water. And for 7.5 months, being down in the States, from anywhere from 1 to 5 of us having showers every day, we went through maybe 3 tanks, like barbecue tanks of propane. So it's just a plug that I wanted to let people know if they are looking at doing this, or say your RV is dying, or your tank isn't that great, or you hate the fact that you run out of hot water. This is an affordable solution, and they go right in place of your original one. You can even get the faceplate covers that are for your rig, and as well, it plugs in place. Like, it's literally a 3 amp, 12 volt, gas in, cold water in, cold water, or like hot water out. It's so simple. I suggest anybody that's looking at it, just do it. You will not regret it by any means. So now that we did that, I'll go back and I'll show you. You come back to the back of the truck and we go underneath. I will quickly show you where we're at from this side. So there's the holding tanks under the back. There's all of our fill points. Our tank water coming out, going into the far side box, which goes to our pumps, and coming back, going to our pressure washer, which I will come over here and show you how that is. So this is pretty nice. I'm going to keep the back mud flap on, which is pretty useless, but it is once we put these boxes in, but it's really good for sheltering this pump. So there you are. There's our pressure washer now. We just have to open this up, give it a pull, and we now have pressure washers. So here, if you look underneath, you will see again, here's our plumbed in to our in, out, and the top one is the one coming from the front for being on shore water, or from our other 2 water tanks if we want to pull water from them. So all the plumbing now is done. All we have now is to run our lines for the pressure washer reels and the wands. So that's what we're gonna try to tackle. If my son gets home earlier, we're gonna jump on it, or I'm gonna finish it up tomorrow, as well as the last thing, hooking up the 12-volt power and switch for the pump. So here's the pumps, or the pump, sorry, and the 2 valves. Everything is pretty much ready to go. I cannot wait to try this out and see how well it works.
Thanks for watching another one of our videos, everyone, and feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the late upload. We are busy with our move. Jeff over here, helping us do it all. He did most of it himself. And we'll be posting more videos, hopefully a couple a week, and thanks again for watching.